The homeowner walks over and closes the curtains, but they keep opening again on their own, almost like someone or something is trying to look outside. While there are such things as automatic curtains, these appear to be ordinary manual ones, and even if it was a draft, it's strange that the curtains seem to move so consistently. Some might also wonder if air vents or open windows could cause the motion, but the way the curtains move and how the homeowner reacts suggests this isn't something they've seen happen before. Maybe it is just a breeze, or maybe someone or something wanted to take a peek outside. Either way, it's definitely enough to make you double check your own windows tonight.
Chicos, son las 3 de la mañana, estoy escuchando ruidos súper extraños en el primer piso. Si quieres asesinarme, solo aplaude.
¿Quieres?
Cositos. Tengo esta tacita y esta tacita. No sé cómo se dice. ¿Huevo? ¿Sí?
Crazy.
This is why you should always keep your guard with wild animals. I've seen this video many times before, but never really knew the full context to it. Apparently, this bear's handler purchased it for only $15 and allowed people in the park to take pictures with it so he could make some money. However, this girl made a huge mistake. She had salmon for lunch just moments before, and you can even see the bear seems to smell it on her breath. And this is when the bear's instincts kick in, because there is a big difference between tamed and domesticated animals. Tamed animals may follow commands they're given, but one thing they can't deny is their natural instinct. If you haven't seen this video, you may already know where it's going. It should be mentioned the girl only suffered minor injuries, and whatever happened to the bear afterwards is unknown. And lastly, you should know there is a slight trigger warning at the end of this video. Here's the full clip.
Poltergeist.
Slap but can also stroke.
Going in the wind as an empty of the truth that it's naked.
Excuse me. Nala. Are you doing dishes? I hope so.
Somebody down there, they're gonna stay their goddamn ass down there. I'm not going.
He struggled to catch anything on camera, but the following day, an experience unfolded that was nothing short of terrifying.
Hey, somebody fucking in here with me. I'm up here doing this damn job. These folks want me to do all this walking in the dark. I'm not walking down there in no motherfucking dark. Hey. Hey. Not coming the fuck out there, man. Somebody is down there with me. Somebody in here with me. When I got this job, I told them I don't do things like this. And I got my camera on, bitch. You can go if you just come out. I'll let you go free. But don't try to just pop out on me. You know what I'm saying? Scare the fuck out of me, make me shit out on myself on the job. Come on now. Come on now. I'm just trying to get my goddamn hours and go home now. He'll act like he don't hear me. You know you back there. Come on.
Some must-see folklore horror movies. I love a good folklore horror movie. Yes, they tend to be slow, but the vibes overall just tend to be immaculate. Like The Damned that came out earlier this year. This woman and her fishing crew have to make the tough decision to not help this sinking ship off their coast. That decision definitely comes back to haunt them. The vibes here, fantastic, creepy. Yes, this is brand new, but it is still underseen. I'm of a small group of people that love the movie Lamb. Best to go into this eco-folklore horror as blind as possible in my opinion, but I fucking love it. Movie Men gets so much hate and I don't understand why. End of this movie is unforgettable. Feast is another eco-folklore horror movie that is incredibly underseen. Yes, it takes its time, but the end of this Eat the Rich folklore movie is well worth their wait in my opinion. I will continue to scream about Starvaker from last year. Matt Smith plays an archaeologist that thinks there's something sinister going on with this ancient oak tree on his land. I know folklore isn't for everybody, but if you love folklore horror, Starvaker is a must-see. I know some might not think The Ritual is a folklore horror movie, but in my opinion, it 100% is. This group of friends goes hiking in the Scandinavian forest after they lose one of their close friends. The ancient evil that awaits them in this forest, the ending to this movie is perfection.
You okay? What the hell?
Follow for more.
Go away. Don't come any closer.
On March 6, 1981, inside a courtroom in Lubeck, Germany, a murder trial was underway. 35-year-old Klaus Grabowski sat at the defendant's bench, charged with the rape and murder of a 7-year-old girl. Among the people watching that day was a woman in her mid-30s, sitting silently with her hands in her lap. Her name was Marianne Backmeyer. She was the mother of the girl Grabowski had killed, and in her handbag was a loaded pistol. Flashback to May 5, 1980, Marianne's daughter, Anna, was a bright, curious 7-year-old. That morning, she and her mom had gotten into a small argument, and Anna, upset, decided to skip school. She wandered around her Lubeck neighborhood, eventually stopping by the home of a man she knew, Klaus Grabowski. Grabowski lived just down the street. Anna loved his cats and had visited his home before. To her, he wasn't a threat. He was a friendly neighbor with animals. But what she didn't know was that Grabowski was a convicted sex offender. In the 1970s, he assaulted multiple young girls and even tried to strangle a 6-year-old. And guys, despite all of this, he was living freely on probation. That afternoon, he lured Anna inside. He kept her there for hours, ate her, and then strangled her to death. When Anna didn't come home that night, Marianne reported her missing. The next day, police got a call. It was Grabowski's fiance. She said he confessed to killing Anna. Within hours, police found Anna's body stuffed into a cardboard box and dumped beside a canal. Grabowski had fled but left a note saying he'd meet his fiance at a local pub. Police were waiting. They arrested him that night. Fast forward to his trial. Grabowski tried to justify his murder, claiming that Anna tried to blackmail him. According to him, this 7-year-old girl said that if he didn't give her money, she would tell her mother that he had abused her. Marianne sat through all of it. For 10 months, she visited her daughter's grave and planned. She purchased a small Barrett 22 pistol from the black market and hid it beneath the earth. And on March 6, 1981, she brought it to court. As the judge called for a break, Marianne quietly stood from her seat, walked forward, and pulled a pistol from her purse. Grabowski was sitting just 10 feet in front of her, facing the judge. She raised a gun and pulled the trigger 7 times. 6 bullets struck Grabowski in the back. He collapsed to the floor, bleeding out in front of the entire courtroom. And guys, witnesses say Marianne's face was wet with tears, but her hands never shook. She didn't try to run. She just stood there, lowered the weapon, and said, "He killed my daughter. I wanted to shoot him in the face, but I shot him in the back. I hope he dies." She was arrested on the spot. Her trial made headlines around the world. In the end, the court found her guilty of premeditated manslaughter. She was sentenced to 6 years but only served 3. After her release in 1986, she moved to Nigeria, then Sicily, and eventually returned to Germany, where she died of cancer in 1996 at just 46 years old. She was buried beside her daughter, Anna.
Neredesin küçük kız? Seni bulamıyorum. Neredesin?
Cosas intrigantes y aterradoras que los humanos nunca debieron de ver. Te presento algunos videos extraños y aterradores, desde encuentros inexplicables hasta imágenes inquietantes. Esto desafiará tu percepción de...
Is Bigfoot supernatural? Now, the Native Americans believed that Bigfoot was a spirit that could pass between worlds. And to them, it was very much this supernatural being. Now, this story comes out of the Pacific Northwest. There was this man named Ryan. Ryan was a Marine, an athlete, and just this well-rounded individual. And he said at one point in time during his life, he had just lost one of his really good friends. This friend had went out near Mount St. Helens in a place called Randall, and he went for a hike and disappeared. Now, this friend, he said, was an avid outdoorsman, hiker, and knew this area very well. So for him to disappear, it was very odd. So he said during this same period of time, he began to experience some weird things. The first thing was he started to have these really vivid nightmares. And he would find himself in the woods running from something, and he'd never seen what it was. The second thing that started happening to him was he would see these orbs of light, sometimes in his room, sometimes outside the home, and even in the sky. Well, 5 years after his friend had disappeared, Ryan and some friends go on a camping trip, and they stay in a cabin in this same general area where his friend disappeared. So the first night when they're at this cabin, they began to hear these strange screams coming from the woods. And they sounded very inhuman. They kept getting louder and louder. And that's when rocks began to pelt the side of the cabin. And Ryan and his friends, they run inside the cabin and they lock the doors. So they decide, we're going to stay in for the rest of the night. Like, we don't know what that is. Later that night, Ryan wakes up from a deep sleep and he says he sees this ball of light in his room, this orb. And he felt compelled to get up and follow it. And he follows this thing out of the cabin into the woods, and it takes him out to this clearing. And he said right as he got to the clearing, this light just disappeared. And it was very, very eerily quiet. He then hears something off in the distance coming through the bushes. And he said out from behind the bush crawled out this large, hairy creature on all fours, making its way towards him. And he said when this thing got within a couple feet of him, it stood up on two legs. It came very close to him and it started sniffing him. He then hears this voice inside his head saying, "Not you, leave." So he turns around and he runs as fast as he can back to the cabin. As he's running, he said he could hear this thing screaming like it was communicating to more of these things, telling them, we need to leave. He gets back to the cabin and he thinks, my friends aren't going to believe this, like what just happened to me. But when he gets there, his friends are like all concerned, like what happened? We seen you following that light outside and we heard those screams. So they leave the cabin and they get out of there. And he said, what stuck with him is that he always wondered what it meant by "not you."
The mirror in the attic. While cleaning out her late grandmother's attic, a woman stumbles upon an old dusted-covered mirror with an ornate frame. At night, she notices something unsettling, a shadowy figure standing behind her reflection, motionless, watching. She spins around, but the attic is empty. Over the next few days, the figure remains, never moving, never blinking. One evening, in a burst of fear and frustration, she shatters the mirror with a hammer. The relief is short-lived. The next morning, deep claw marks streak across her bedroom door, fresh and jagged. Whatever had been trapped inside the mirror is no longer contained. The last text. A grieving man still texts his deceased wife's number knowing it's pointless, just a way to cope. One evening, his phone buzzes. A reply. Come home, I miss you. His heart pounds. He stares at the screen, disbelief mixing with sick and dread. The house they once shared had been abandoned for months, dust thick on the windows, furnished drapes and sheets. He rushed there, hands shaking as he types a response. The next message arrived instantly. I'm not the one who died. His breath catches. He looks around, the silence pressing in. Then he notices something in the cracked hallway mirror. His own reflection isn't there. The neighbor's dog. A couple moves into a quiet neighborhood, but their new neighbor's dog is aggressive, barking furiously whenever they step outside. It growls at their window. They complain, but the neighbor only shakes his head. He's just protective. Then one night, the barking stops. A tense silence fills the air. The couple open their door to find the dog cowering, whimpering, staring at something behind them. They turn. Just as the porch light flickers, lying on their doorstep is their neighbor's body, claw marks shredded across the chest. The dog wasn't a threat. It was the warning? Why did it just end there? I need to hear more.
I'm like fucking scared. There's no one standing there, but there's a silhouette, like a shadow of.
Motherfuckers are real. You real?
And I see my neighbors.
It's back. It keeps peeking in here. Help me. Oh my goodness gracious, what the hell? Ain't nobody in the other room. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh, my pistol's in the other room.